again. I'm not going to count days anymore, I decided, so there's no more days on these things. Um, Today, I want to talk about one giant thing that I'm noticing. I get put in a lot of positions in life over the years, and even that's accelerating even now, where I'm working with people that are stuck or at the end of their rope in some way, shape, or form. And what I've noticed is one of the biggest things that I noticed, and it holds true for myself and everyone that I've ever worked with, I think, and that is that there's a tendency to look at people's, what we perceive as their reactions to us, and internalize it, and then move that forward into our lives. Whereas the person that we're internalizing there, maybe it's a facial expression, maybe it's something they say, maybe it's how they treat us in any way. That person is taking what's internal to them and projecting it out towards us, and we're deciding that, and they may not even, most of the time they're not even thinking about us when they do it. And for us, because we're human beings, we look at it like these this how they're reacting toward us, and because it's aimed towards us, because they're looking at us. um, we look at it in the opposite way, like they're thinking of us and reacting, whereas they're thinking of whatever they're thinking about, which rarely has anything to do with us, and reacting. And maybe it's this look on their face, and maybe it's our parents when we were kids, maybe it's a friend that that did something when we were 15 or 12 or 20 years old. And sometimes those little interactions that happened that had nothing to do with us can be a big chunk of how we make decisions going forward. And they can really harm us, and sometimes they can really help us. But it seems like the bigger portion of the time, they're at the root of some of the things we're struggling with. So if you're struggling with something, think about where that came from. And if it was a person that had a conversation with you, or if you notice that people don't like you, you think that people don't like you in general, or a person doesn't, think about if they like themselves. Because if they don't like themselves, their face is going to show it, because the thoughts that are inside their head are going to be rambling around and putting a physiology on their face. And that physiology then becomes a mirror to you, and it ain't about you. And so I guess that's the message of today. It's usually not about you. And if you want to get past something, especially if you're dealing with another human being, the first thing to do is maybe throw them something else in the mirror that's not what they're seeing in themselves, like a big freaking smile. Throw a big smile at them and let it sink into them for long enough for them. Maybe you can lead them into a place that makes them feel better for long enough to feel better, for them to actually then mirror it back to you. So anyways, that's my big thing for today, is that most of the time your interactions and how people treat you is not about you, unless you've done something. So right then, the way people interact with you is about what's going on inside their heads, and not what you've done or what they even feel about you. All right, that's it for today. Have a great day.